In Soviet times, this was a kolkhoz, a collective farm. Now, it is a part of a vast, private, 1,900-hectare operation belonging to JAAN, METSAMAA.
The country has developed very rapidly, and so have the farms.
JAAN is 59 years old. He was trained in the Soviet era. Today, he owns over 1,200 cows.
After Estonia became independent in 1991, numerous private farms were created. Some were small, but others were large companies with shareholders.
In the 30 years that followed the independence, milk production first fell by nearly a third. It then gradually returned to its Soviet-era levels, although with very different techniques. Here there are only 12 employees.
The economy has changed a lot. Today you can produce a lot with very little staff and high technology.
Technology has been the key to Estonia's rapid agricultural development.
The reason why Estonian farms have had to become bigger is because of modern technologies. They're too complicated to implement in small farms. The equipment is very expensive and cannot be profitable if the herd is too small. So inevitably, agro-business has developed to stay competitive.
After the independence, the Estonian government defined three main targets to get over the Soviet era: to reduce poverty, eradicate corruption, and cut red tape. The whole society modernized rapidly thanks to technology. Today, 99% of administrative formalities can be carried out online.
Technology might be able to help us to solve these problems. And that was a point where Estonia realized already 30 years ago that we can't continue doing things on the exact same way.
Each year, moving services online cuts Estonia's public spending by 2% of its GDP. It is also making the country very business-friendly.
Today, Estonia has one of the largest number of startups per capita. Where business is easy, business will grow.
In 2020, the country's 1,100 startups produced 10% of its GDP. These factories have been turned into modern offices. PACTUM is a startup that helps renegotiate contracts between companies and their suppliers using artificial intelligence.
I am pretending to be a supplier at the moment, and the enterprise contacted me that maybe we can improve the contract for both sides.
KRISTJAN was trained by one of the founders of Skype, Estonia's biggest success story.
These people inspired us. They are helping and teaching us. They are investing money into new startups. The economy of Estonia has been increasing the most out of all the ex-Soviet Union countries. Estonia is definitely the best place in the world where to do a startup.
This rapid development was possible thanks to the country's large reserves of oil shale. Estonia produces 80% of its own electricity. That has led the country to depend less on Russia.
You see, this brown stuff is oil shale. It's like the pages of a book. If you scratch it with a knife, you can break up the layers.
Opened in 1937, this mine is now a museum. Jury Sala spent 19 years digging tunnels here until it closed in 2001.
You needed to support the roof with large beams. Then you could bore holes in the walls and place the explosives. After the detonation, there would be a pile of rocks on the ground. We used to collect the rocks and place them in a wagon. Now new techniques have arrived in Estonia. They're far more efficient and productive.
Oil shale is responsible for most of the country's carbon emissions. Its extraction also pollutes 90% of its water. Estonia is now looking to move on to nuclear power in order to defend its energetic independence from Russia.